Good morning, traders. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with your morning market recap, and not a lot of things to talk about this morning. Indices very close to where they went out yesterday. So let's go through the overnight markets quickly. A lot of markets just made a follow-through move from what the U.S. markets did. Nikkei was up 4%. Really up pretty strong, and same thing across the board in Hong Kong, up 3%. Shanghai also up very nicely, up 4%. So those markets did not hesitate after our strong performance. Looking at what really is the gauge, I think, for this morning, going into the morning is what crude is doing, what Europe is doing. Europe not really moving too much. FTSE down a little bit. Euro Stoxx up about 60 basis points. Something to watch as we get closer to the open. DAX up about 50 basis points. Really not that much of a big move this morning, and I think that's why you're kind of seeing our markets flattish. The big thing that moved last night was the API numbers came out for oil, the weekly inventory numbers in terms of the API estimate. That's what caused crude to fall, and they rallied here a little bit, but then came back in and just kind of settled in the bottom of value, and now getting a little bit of a lift here going as we get closer to the open, closer to the pit open. Futures kind of doing the same thing, down about not much, 20 basis points. We do have some economics out this morning. The estimate of the ADP estimate of employment change. This to me is never that market moving. The real number comes on Friday, but this is kind of like the sneak peek. But I really never put too much weight behind this particular number. We do have the ISM New York at 9:45. Weekly mortgage applications look like we're a little bit less than expected, but again, nothing too crazy here. Actually, here comes the employment change. Looks like it's a better number. Just came out here, 214 versus 190. So a positive employment number in terms of the ADP. Again, the main number will be on Friday. So this is just a little bit of a sneak peek. We also have a lot of data out, as you can see, tomorrow. Let's go through and take a look at what the rest of the commodities are doing this morning. Nat gas down another 2%. Look at nat gas go to the downside. Again, I've had mentioning that this broke down the December lows, and it looks like it's just wants to keep going here. So down another 2% this morning. Let's check out what copper's up to. Copper is up nicely, up 1%. Let's check out bonds, and let's check out gold. Bonds just off a little bit, very, very close to where they finished. Went out yesterday, down about 10 basis points. Let's take a look at gold. Gold getting a little bit of a rally here. The last, I guess this is on the reaction to the ADP number as it's falling right now. Let's just take a look at how S&P futures are reacting to that number. Not much of a reaction. That's usually how it goes. Let's see. One thing to point out yesterday, was there buying in the marketplace? Sometimes it takes a couple days to trickle through in terms of ETF inflows and outflows. One thing I can assure you was that there was major outflows in kind of those, I would refer to them almost as cash holdings. SHV, which is short-term treasuries, $1.2 billion of outflows. That wasn't the only thing that saw outflows on the fixed income side. IEI, which is 3 to 7 year treasury, saw outflows. SHY, that's another short-term treasury fund, lost $110 million. So as far as that being redeployed, I did see this rotation a couple days ago where out of treasuries and into high yield bonds. That's HYG and JNK. They each saw about almost $200 million a piece in terms of inflows. However, I think we're missing some of the data, and as I said, sometimes it takes a couple days for this to trickle through. But it looks like either more was added to high yield bonds or more was added to equities. My guess is that we're going to see some equity inflows. BIL, another name, ITE, that's another treasury name, 100 million of outflows. BIL, another, this is treasury bills. So all, if you look at the biggest outflows yesterday, a lot of them were in the treasury funds. The big one, of course, was SHV, $1.2 billion coming out. That's 20% of the fund. That's huge. So I don't see any major inflows. Again, gold continues to see inflows. So for those people who think that people stop buying gold, it looks like this is still coming through. Somebody's still buying gold. So very interesting I see there. So let's quickly go through some of the movers this morning. Let's go through the upgrades first. Let's see if I have that up. I may not have that up. Okay, Brixmor raised to buy at Sandler. Allison Transmission raised to buy. Ross Stores, which had earnings, which is up about $1 this morning, raised to buy at MKM. A couple other names that were upgraded, downgraded. Interesting, AWK cut to neutral at Baird. This was actually, I believe, is being added to the S&P 500. I have to check that, but I think that was announced last night. Dollar Tree cut to market perform at Raymond James. Joy Global cut to sell. SanDisk again, and actually this was yesterday. This came out. It looks like this is a dupe in terms of SanDisk. I saw this on the list yesterday. Yandesk cut to hold. Analog Devices, new buy. It's an interesting name there. ADI, something to keep an eye on. Amazon upgraded by BMO this morning. eBay rated new market perform. Nothing to do there. We did see a little bit of buying in the options there. NXPI new buy at Drexel. Looks like Drexel came out with a little bit of a list this morning. Silicon Labs, they also upgraded, and they also rated a new buy. So it looks like they came out and just have some new ratings on some of the semi names, because I see a lot of them rated as buys at Drexel Hamilton. TNK, interesting, rated new hold there. Actually, not that interesting. Take that back. I thought that was going to be a new buy, but nope. CSX, interesting. We did see some unusual option activity yesterday, and the open interest was higher than the volume, so I did not take this trade. But these were the May 27 calls, and Canadian Pacific apparently approached CSX about a takeoff action back in January. So it's getting a little bit of a lift this morning. Here it is, AWK to replace Consol Energy in the S&P 500, so that is confirmed. WFT prices $100 million or secondary. It looks like they're down 7.1%. A couple other names I think we already mentioned, these upgrades and downgrades. Okay, so that's it for me for the morning market rundown this morning. So I would definitely keep an eye if markets aren't really moving too much and digesting some of the price action from yesterday, which it seems like they're doing. Keep an eye on Europe this morning. Keep an eye on crude. We do have those oil inventories that come out at 10:30 Eastern, so that could be a market mover this morning. Other than that, also keep an eye on market breadth. That should tell you if we're getting a strong follow-through day today. If not, if it's a lot of chop, maybe at a day that some of the names really don't move that much. But that should tell, market breadth should tell you what the overall participation rate is so far and how strong today's move is going to be. All right, guys, have a great day and good luck trading.